Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. In this episode I'm going to try to give some tips on how to get your pregnancy level up. So the first step you want to do is when you create a new game is you want to make sure, let's create a new tribe here. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your people are nicely divided. So in other words, male female ratio is correct, or best, let's say, more females than males, or at least the equal amount. And then the ages are also important. So let's check our females here. Here's an 8-year-old, 25-year-old, 45. This is not ideal, but she can still have children. They can have children up to 49, sometimes 50, but 49 is the last year that they can. So let's continue. 27, 7. Is this a female? Yes, it is. Here's a male, male, female 41, female 38. So this is not ideal. So, but let's check the female male ratio. So how many females do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have a lot of females here, but their ages are not ideal. So in this case, I would then go and start a new game again. You can start it anywhere. I just like this area because of that 2 rivers. And then here at the bottom, it's technically the difficulty. This must be the most difficult because the ice age are still going away. You can see if I move the cursor as how the ice go away. So you can put it anywhere where you like to, doesn't matter. So let's start again. Okay, let's go and look at our population. So already I can say no, we're going to start again. 2 of our females are already old. So you might have to do this a few times to get what you want to get. So let's start again. Let's look at our population. So first, let's see how many females do we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 females out of a population of 16. It's not bad, and if we look at their ages, 24, that's good. 38, that's also not bad. 20, very good. 36, not bad. 32, also not bad. 14, not bad. It's male. And 11, so this is not bad. It's still not ideal. They are less than the male population. So you can start a new one, but usually let's try one. Let's try again just to make sure. Like I said, this bottom one you can move as you want to. Okay, let's go and look. We have a population of 16. Let's look at them. So female 44, not a good age, but she can still have children. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the old okay, so this is also not ideal, but let's count them again. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not gonna count there. It's 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's technically 8 females. So this is not bad, even though one of them are already old age. So, but you have a few, you have one that's 44, 20, 28, 14, 28, 49. So two of them are not the right age. So I will start again. Like I said, you will have to do this maybe a few times up until you get what you are looking for. So let's see again. It's a female 14. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 females, and a lot of them are still very, very young. But this could be okay-ish. So like I mentioned, you can start a few times up until you get the balance right for yourself. You can see, but you want them to be, let's say, 30s or 20s at least, because in the 40s you don't have a lot of time. So let's see, 9. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, not gonna count, 5. So like I mentioned, you will have to maybe try a few times up until you get better, or a female population that's better than that. Okay, here's 128. 44. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 females. So let's try this tribe. So a lot of them are still young, but it should be okay. So that's the first thing you try to do, is you get your female population either the same as the males or a little or higher. So that's the first thing you want to look at. And now we will then go to the next thing. Okay, so for the next thing, you want to make sure that you have a different diet, or that you have a diet. For example, here you can see berries, fish, hazelnut. So the important point is that you have more than one food source. So you can see I already got one pregnancy, and we just started with the food. So as soon as we got the food, you could see I had one pregnancy already. So to have a mixed diet, so in the spring and summer, you would want a different blend of food. So not necessarily fish. In my playthroughs, fish is only autumn and winter, including hunting. So my two food sources for winter is fish and meat. And in the summer, you try to get a mix of as much as you can. I also had clams here. So always try to have at least 2 different food sources. That should help you with your pregnancy level. So in the summer, usually I have rosehip, berries, some beetroot, clams, and sometimes hazelnut. So diet in the different seasons is important to help with your pregnancy. So as soon as I got a few different food types, I got a pregnancy, I don't even have shelter or a fire yet. So food is very important. So number 2 is food in your different seasons. Like I mentioned, summer, you want to have some fruits and at least 2 different types of fruit. So you can see I just started, I'm still in spring, and here we are. We already have our first pregnancy. Okay, let's go. I will now forward to the winter to just show you what I do there, and then we'll go to the next point. Okay, just to show you guys, so the food thing for the guys that don't know is I make groups, which you create by clicking here on groups and then open this, create groups. So open workgroup UI and you create a gathering group, which would be a green one like this. And then I name that group food, for example. You put at least 4 people in the beginning there, and then you go and select your food types, which you select by clicking on automatic gathering. And then here at the top on food, you select the food types you think that they will get. And what you do is, for example, you can see I cannot get at this stage honeycombs. So honeycombs usually gets available later. You can take that off or leave it. For now, let's take it off. So currently they are finding mixes of this current foods. And here you can see it. Berries, beetroot, clams, rosehip, hazelnut. So they are finding a mix. So the less things you have on here, the better for them. In the summer, usually I usually push rosehip a lot and sometimes clams, but depending on where you start and so forth. The important thing is to protect that food as soon as possible. You can see here I am digging pits and I'm making baskets and I haven't even built my first hut yet. So just so you guys know how to get the food, so that the guys search for food, is you create a group, you tell them what to look for, will quickly see what they will find and what not. And that's it. That's it to get your food right in your first 2 seasons at least. I will also show you guys when we get to winter how to get that hunting and fishing ready. But okay, for now so we are still busy with point 2, the food sources that you need. So I will forward to winter now. Okay, so still part of number 2 is, like I mentioned, in the autumn. You can see it's late autumn. Their diet is mostly fresh fish, dried fish, raw meat, and dried meat. So you want to push this as hard as possible so that when you get to spring again, that you have a lot of meat and a lot of fish. That combined with the fruit should give you a better chance of some pregnancy. So to get the best fish and the best hunting, you will have to let your craftsman create the tools that you need. So the best tools for hunting is the flint spear. As you can see, hunting is 150%. You need fine raw stone and fine sticks for that. And the best fishing is the bone harpoon, where you need 3 bone and 1 stick for one of them. So make sure you have the right tools to help you get the food that you need. And that including whatever you gathered in the summer, will give you a boost on your pregnancy rate. Okay, so that's point 1 and point 2. And point 3, we have discussed where you have to do the huts. So on to the next one. Okay, so the third thing you want is you want shelter for all your people. You can see I have a rather big mix here, but the important one is this big reed hut. If you can get reed huts, if you look at the reed hut, let's go to our building, guys. If you look at the reed hut, the stats that it gives you, you will see it makes the sleep 50% more. So the people really like the reed hut. That will also push their happiness up versus the straw hut, which is only 25%. So the third thing is make sure you have shelter, and if you can afford it, to get them a reed hut that will also help. So you can see after I had shelter for all my people, I have another pregnant person up here, Naria. So shelter is your third important thing, and a good mix will be nice. So usually I try to do, I build the hide hut quickly, because you can build it very quickly in the beginning, and then I go for the big huts. Usually I really like the reed hut. If you have a lot of reeds with you, build a reed hut as soon as possible, and then if not, the big straw huts. So the third thing, shelter, and like you can see, I have a mix here, and I have my second person pregnant already. So this is the third thing. So on to the fourth. Okay, so point 4 is something that I do myself. It sometimes works, sometimes it does not. So what I do is I go and I check my food first. This is important. You want to make sure you have enough food to do point 4. So point 4 is you go to your policies and you take away labor time and you take away labor age. So it's almost night, we can do it now, and you do it for 2 days. You take away both, so they're not going to work for 2 days, and that's important that you have enough food to sustain you for that 2 days. So that, and you can see there's some unhappy people here. Why they're unhappy? They feel exploited. So this will also fix the unhappiness if you can spare them for 2 days. So let's see what happens. Like I mentioned, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So nobody is going to work for 2 days, but this sometimes it works, like I mentioned, sometimes it doesn't. Maybe it will work this time, maybe not, but we have enough food to sustain them for 2 days of doing nothing. So let's go, this will be day 1. And they will just chill here by the fire and go into groups and chat with each other and stuff. They will very quickly do something, because even though it's 0, they will still do something. And there they go back to resting. Okay, so this will now be day 2. You can see all of them are happy again, they don't feel exploited anymore. Day is almost done. Okay, so now quickly when the new day starts, you put your policies back. Labor time, I always keep it on the half one, and then the working age you can push everybody, but you can play with the settings if you want to. So that's it, that's what you do, is you just give them 2 days. That will bring their happiness up, and it's just a resting day. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This time it doesn't look like it worked, but let's give it another day. Usually the next day you will get somebody that's pregnant if it works. So let's quickly run through and see if we maybe get another pregnancy. This sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. You guys could see some of my other videos where it worked and a lot of them where it doesn't. So it is very random if it works or not. So let's just give it a day and see if it does anything. Okay, so this time it didn't work, but it's one of the things that sometimes work and sometimes don't. Okay, so on to the next point. Okay, so point 5 is something that also works for some people and sometimes it doesn't. It's where you go, you save your game to whatever you want to save it. Okay, and then after that you load that save game. And then you skip a day, or they not skip a day, you go through a day. Let's see if that helps. But like I mentioned, that just sometimes helps. It has never helped for me, but if you look at other people, sometimes it works, and they do sometimes recommend saving and then loading that save game. So let's see if anything happens. So it looks like in this case the load save game also didn't work, but for some people it does work, but for us in our case it did not work. Okay, then on to the next point. So point 6, what you can do is also go to your options, go to mods, add game, disable your mods if you have any. The other stuff should still be fine. Or you can go here to mods and make sure that the mods you have on is disabled in any case. Then save your game, load it again. Let's make sure we don't have any pregnancies. Let's go through the night and see if we get any pregnancies. Okay, so it didn't do anything this time, but mods, specifically mods that's out of date, can have an effect on your gameplay. So always make sure that if you struggle with pregnancies, to turn off your mods. Okay, on to the next one. Okay guys, for point 7, you want to make sure you have enough food because you are going to travel. You can say I have no pregnancies. So what you do is you click on your tribe name, click on citizen, and then click on migrate. Then you select the place that you want to migrate to. For example, let's say there. Let the guys migrate and let's see if anything happens. And there you guys can see I got a pregnancy right away. So migration sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. So this is just a few tips I have that I have been playing with to get pregnancies. Some of them work like you saw, some of them doesn't work. It depends, it's very random, but this is the few tips I could give you how I got pregnancies. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one.